Hi Founder fans, Jason here. Today we're going to talk about what basically amounts to a bar fight that happened in Congress in early 1798. I should apologize, I'm a little flustered. We were just trick-or-treating and it is pouring and things are a little frazzled, more than just my hair. But anyway, William Blount was an American revolutionary who went to the Continental Congress, and afterward he ended up being named governor of the Southwest Territory, which was covered basically during the Washington administration, covered Mississippi, Arkansas, at least what we know today is Mississippi, Arkansas, parts of Tennessee, parts of what Georgia considered Georgia at the time, things like that. While he was there, he bought up like tremendous amounts of land. Now, nothing really wrong with that. You know, we might think today, oh, a politician buying all this land, but there was nothing really wrong with that at the time. Unfortunately, the market for land went bust, and Blount went basically broke. Oops. So what he did was more or less what Aaron Burr would be accused of 5 years later, which is what they call the filibuster. Not like we think of filibustering today. What he tried to do was raise militias and invade New Orleans and maybe start his own country. It's up in the air. So that didn't work out, and instead he was found out. But by the time he was found out, he had been elected a congressman from Tennessee, I believe. So he's in Congress. And Congress finds out that he was trying to, invade a country they were peaceable relations with. So a big war breaks out. Not a real war, a congressional war. People disagreeing on what the right or wrong thing to do. And some people wanted to kick him out. Now in the middle of all this, you have two gentlemen on opposite sides. You have the Federalist, Roger Griswold, and the Democratic Republican, Matthew Lyon. So Griswold wants to settle things, and he goes over to Lyon, and he's like, hey, excuse me, Mr. Lyon, may we speak? And Lyon ignores him. Lyon, may we speak? Ignores him. Finally, Griswold gets frustrated and calls him a scoundrel. Ooh. Now today, this sounds like a ridiculous thing to call someone. At the time, when men were very much concerned with their honor, being called a scoundrel was basically saying you are dishonorable. Type of thing people used to fight duels about. Lyon didn't challenge him to a duel. He stood up and he spit in his face. And let's just say Mr. Griswold did not take kindly to this kind of thing. Now, a few days went by. Griswold ruminated over it. Matthew Lyon earned the nickname the Spitting Lion, which is absolutely hilarious. And then Lyon is sitting in Congress a few days later, and Griswold walks over and starts attacking him with his cane. Just in the head and shoulders is what we're told. And Lyon cowers back and runs over to the fireplace and grabs the poker. It might have been the seps, or whatever they're called. I call them seps. And starts defending himself. And apparently, they tussled, and some other congressmen had to pull Griswold off Lyon by his legs and separate him. Now, this ended poorly on several accounts. First of all, these were the two men ever officially reprimanded by Congress. Lyon did end up, I don't know, I haven't been able to find anything about Griswold's response, but Lyon did actually officially apologize to Congress. He wrote a written apology and he stood on the floor and apologized. He did say that he didn't realize Congress was in session when it happened, and he said if he had, he wouldn't have spit in the guy's face because that would have been disrespectful to Congress itself, and these men of honor took Congress very seriously and tried to be more honorable than we might be accustomed to today. Not taking sides, don't like modern politics very much myself, but it's these were different people, it was a different time. I don't understand how he's in the room and doesn't know Congress is in session, but that what he said, and everyone gave him a pass on that. Unfortunately, uh, within a year, Lyon would actually, he was a printer from Vermont, and he would actually end up going to prison under the Alien and Sedition Acts, which is what I was researching when I found this very amusing story. And I will, of course, at some point definitely talk about the Alien and Sedition Acts. Um, and actually, interesting, I will say this about Lyons. He would go, later that year, he would go to prison under the Alien and Sedition Acts for just a few months. And while he was in prison, he was re-elected to Congress. He's the only person who was ever in jail and was elected a congressman. and, and his life, he has a very interesting life. I will have to give him more time on this channel. And as for Blount, the original William Blount, who started this whole mess, they were considering impeaching him, but he would actually die about a year later. And that settled things on that front. So, nice, quick, really hilarious story for you today. Again, please hit like, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Liking really helps because more people on YouTube can just find me naturally. And if you like it, other people might like it too. I certainly have fun doing it. Thank you for your time, and I will see you tomorrow.